There is a rot on the World Wide Web. Some call it doom porn, some call it misery masturbation, some call it click cucking. This is a doomsday cult, and these frauds devour their viewers' time and attention with fear porn, clickbait titles, and provide them nothing in return. This plague of influencers feed off the desperation of their viewers, reinforcing negative thoughts and behaviors in a miserable circle jerk of despair, instead of using their so-called expertise to give their viewers actionable advice and optimism. They prey on the anxious, the uninitiated, and when their claims turn out to be wrong, they go back in time, change their thumbnails, or move the goalposts.
The exact reason the housing market's unaffordable is the exact reason you should keep talking about Epstein.
These charlatans rely on the age-old adage, a broken clock is right twice a day, otherwise known as the Peter Schiff effect. And the worst part, they aren't even experts, and they provide little to no actionable advice. To understand this phenomenon, we can look to an example in the Robert Cialdini book called Influence. In his book, Cialdini describes a UFO cult in the 1950s in Chicago. The cult leader, a woman by the name of Marianne Keech, claimed she was receiving messages from aliens. Now, these aliens told her that the world would be destroyed by a flood on a very specific date, and that only her followers would be saved by flying saucers? A psychologist was able to infiltrate the group and was able to observe the cultists' reactions when the totally believable prophecy failed. Prior to the failure of the prophecy, the cultists did crazy things to show their belief, like leaving their jobs, giving away their savings, cutting ties with family and friends. They also removed all metal objects from their clothes. I guess that was something to do with the flying saucers. When the time had passed and the prophecy had failed, the cultist beliefs clashed with reality. Fortunately for them, in her great wisdom, Marianne Keech told everyone she had received a message from the aliens that because of their intense belief, God had spared the world from destruction. After that, some followers had a mental breakdown, some followers left the group, some went on to convince others of their divinity. This all too familiar story illustrates two persuasive phenomena. 1. Commitment and consistency to an idea prevents people from admitting that they are wrong. It's easier to make up new justifications and to move the goalposts than to admit, hey, I'm wrong. I'm sure we've all seen this, where people have breakdowns. Let's say they learned something that they thought to be true was in fact not. They have a hard time coping with it. And as the saying goes, it's easier to fool someone than to convince someone they've been fooled. Number 2, social proof. Most people understand this intuitively. If a lot of people believe in a thing, well, then it must be true. The more people believing in that thing, the more the heretics are burnt at the stake. Now, this leads us to our real estate influencers. For as long as humans have been around, there have been frauds, charlatans, cult leaders, and so on. And in 2025, all you need is a smartphone, consistency, and tank tops? Hell yeah. With these weapons, you can get people to believe anything. You can waste their time, and you can get paid to do it. Awesome. Enter real estate influencers.
The exact reason the housing market's unaffordable is the exact reason you should keep talking about Epstein.
Now, anyone worth their salt in the real estate world understands that what happens in one market does not necessarily affect what happens in another market. And in the United States, there are many markets. Real estate is local, plain and simple. But these doomsday priests would have you believing the entire country is one step from the abyss. This is no different from the weather doomsday cultists and the UFO cultists that we just spoke about. Let's take a look at this guy. Reventure Consulting. Look at these thumbnails. Every single one is designed to scare you into clicking to learn about the information that only he is qualified to tell you. I mean, he is a consultant after all. Now look at his subscriber count. Look at his view count. Hell, look at his comments. All of these people think we're entering a 2008 level housing catastrophe. Only we aren't. The sky can only be falling for so long. And I've suffered through some of his videos with all this data porn. There's no strategy here. There's no expertise. There's no do this, this, and this, and you can find some deals. It's just, oh, it might be a good time to buy when rates go down. Yeah, no shit. Everyone is waiting for that, which will spike demand, which will increase prices. There's no methodology other than mentally masturbating to charts, which is fine, but people are fooling themselves if they think this guy is a consultant. You can still find deals in this market. You just have to send more offers. Find the buyers that actually need to sell. Most of them don't need to sell, and I will say, if you pay market price, you will never get good deals, ever. Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger got rich by paying less than what something is worth. They don't pay retail prices like buying stocks on Robinhood. They buy shares in bulk at a discount to save a company or help them improve. Anyway, well, let's look at this guy's website. Looks like he's building an audience just to try and sell housing data. So, he's making income on two fronts. He's getting clicks. He's also selling, his data, not offering advice based on the expertise, but simply providing data, not advice. Data does not buy real estate. And I'm pretty sure consulting is providing actionable advice. Now, I could be wrong, but nothing about this guy says expert. Expert bullshitter, maybe. People like this, they flood the zone and produce so much content to create the appearance of expertise. And you just end up getting confused. And he doesn't show his deals as far as I can see. And if he has, it surely isn't the focus of this channel. Anyway, I would assume that as an expert consultant, this guy would have success stories on his website. About how much money, people made off of his advice. Or maybe some deals he's bought by, using his hyper analytical skills. Nope. Just fear porn. Just people whining in the comments. No optimism. Only doom. But he does have social proof and consistency. So his dozens of doomsday predictions, they might be correct eventually. So this guy's bad, but not nearly as bad as this next guy. Now, I'm always open to finding some nuggets, in people's content I can apply to my own business. So I like to check out channels, in case I haven't seen something, maybe they have a unique insight, about acquiring real estate. The thing these YouTubers claim to be experts on. After all, a real estate expert would do exactly that. They would buy real estate and make money doing it. Anyway, I've watched a lot of this guy's content just to see if he has any good advice. Michael Bordenaro. Raw real estate. Having been in the real estate business since the last housing market crash in 2008, I have the experience and wisdom of the past to help you make the best real estate decisions in the future. Thanks, Mike. What kind of decision making can you give me with your, maybe half a cycle of wisdom? Oh, the sky is falling. Oh, you read news articles written by people with no experience on the subject that just regurgitate data from somewhere else while you walk around neighborhoods. Now, I am a fan of tank tops, and I wear them all the time. Not gonna knock him for that. Lights out, pipes out, bro. Maybe he can share some tips. He has mentioned in a video that he sold all of his real estate because he thinks the end is nigh. I'd love to see some of those deals. I wonder if he overpaid. My guess is he didn't know what he was doing, bought into the mania, sucked at it, and then bailed. Let's take a look at some of his older videos. Looks like he's just blathering about random crap. Oh, Rakuten. Flipping domains, really? I thought this guy was a real estate expert. I thought he was in the real estate game for 17 years. Ooh, intermittent fasting. So we can look at the progression of Michael, just throwing spaghetti at the wall until he finally lands on fear porn. And I'm sure he realized it gets clicks. And misery loves company. And miserable company loves to blow each other in the comments, which gives you engagement. Now, let's look at his website. Wow. $300 for 30 minutes. So $600 an hour to ask this guy questions one-on-one. His About Me section. Okay. Looks like he tried to do modeling. Ended up being a real estate agent, I guess. That's like the bottle girl to real estate agent pipeline. I love that. I love this part. Reflecting on everything I have done so far and wondering, how can I use this experience to scare people into clicking on my YouTube videos so I can make a living doing that? What experience, Michael? Show your deals. A window into everything you've accomplished? All you do is read articles and walk around neighborhoods. Show us your deals. I mean, this guy has a great opportunity to demonstrate his expertise by door knocking. He literally walks around neighborhoods. Give us actionable advice. Here it is. He's here to motivate and push us harder. Oh yeah, Michael, push me harder. Here it is. Okay, he admits it right here. My personal goals: achieve financial freedom. So you haven't yet. Then what advice can you give us? What wisdom do you have if you haven't done it? My God, these YouTubers, what life have you lived where you think you're qualified to coach others? Oh my God, man, this is insane. He just attracts the biggest losers to his channel to confirm their own bias. My issues with YouTubers like this is they don't really provide any advice. They just make fear porn and then ask, what was your experience? In order to get people to whine in the comments, thus getting engagement, and then they can get money. They quite literally are doom porn stars, like fear porn stars. They whore out themselves to the public so they can just circle jerk each other into poverty. Anyway, Anyway, you're not going to get into the game by fingering yourself to death watching idiots like this who tell you to just keep waiting and never give you any real advice. The mania already happened. The crash happened. It was in transactions. When everybody's scared is when you should be looking for deals. There's some advice. This guy doesn't give that. And if he does, it's because I haven't watched enough of his content to find the one little piece of nugget where he says to do it. This guy's focus is fear porn. Here's what you do. You buy properties that cash flow after all the expenses, day one. And this includes vacancy costs, a little reserve to make sure nothing bad happens. You assume everything will go wrong and prepare accordingly. Hold them for a decade. It's that simple. It's not that complicated. It's just math mixed with some common sense and doing things that make you feel a little bit uncomfortable. And if things don't cash flow how you want, that means you got to bring more money down. Sorry, don't have money? Find a money partner. There's lots of old guys that would love to do this without having to do any of the work. And if you find a good deal, you won't have a problem finding money. All of these strategies that I just mentioned, unfortunately, beyond the scope of this video. I'm not trying to sell you a course. There's plenty of channels out there that explain all those tactics, and you don't have to pay somebody $600 an hour to get them. This video is about me whining about these charlatans giving zero advice because I don't think they're experts. I think if they were experts, they'd show proof of what they've done.